So, what not to talk about Curse of the Werewolf? The first werewolf movie to be shown in color or filmed in color. It's first big starring role for Oliver Reed, and generally it was a very, very well received movie, even though it was only 91 minutes, but it went fast. Now, this Hammer movie was based on the novel The Werewolf of Paris by Guy Andor. It was made by Hammer at the Bray Studios on sets that were constructed for a proposed Spanish Inquisition themed Rape of Sabina, a film that was shelved when the BBFC objected to the script. While the original story took place in Paris, the location of the film was moved to Madrid to avoid building new Parisian sets. The leading part of The Werewolf was Oliver Reed's first starring role, and he once said in published reports, maybe that's why I had a big fascination with horror movies later on. Now, while the original again story took place in Paris, the sets again were in Madrid. Now, composer Benjamin Frankel's score is notable for his use of 12-tone surrealism, rare in film music. Again, it was also the first werewolf film to be shot in color. Now, released in May '61, a double feature bill with Shadow of the Cat, another Hammer film. Upon its initial release, the film was heavily censored in the UK, and a restored print was first aired on the BBC some 32 years later. While a premiere TV screening of restored print had been planned to air on BBC Two on Halloween '92 during the Vault of Horror all-night marathon hosted by Dr. Wild Burgess, played by Guy Henry, later named Dr. Terra, the censored version was aired by mistake. Some people say it was a mistake. Now, this one, a very, very straight-ahead plot. A beggar in a 18th century community in Spain is imprisoned by the cruel Marquis after making inappropriate remarks at a nobleman's wedding feast. The beggar is forgotten and survives another 15 years. His sole human contact is with the jailer and his beautiful mute daughter. The aged, decrepit Marquis makes advances on the jailer's daughter while she is cleaning his room. When she rebuffs him, the Marquis has her thrown into the dungeon with the beggar. The beggar, driven mad by his long confinement, rapes her and then dies. The girl is released the next day and sent to entertain the Marquis. She kills the old man and flees. She is found in the forest by the kindly gentleman scholar Don Alfredo Corleta, who lives alone with his housekeeper Teresa. The warm and motherly Teresa soon nurses the girl back to physical and mental health. However, the girl dies after giving birth to a baby on Christmas Day, a fact that Teresa, straight line, considers unlucky. Now, Alfredo and Teresa raised a boy, whom they named Leon, played by Oliver Reed. Leon, cursed by the evil circumstances of his conception and by his Christmas Day birth, is soon revealed to be, werewolf. An early hunting incident gives him a taste for blood, which he struggles to overcome. Soon, a number of goats are found dead, and a herder's dog is blamed. Now, 13 years later, Leon leaves home to seek work at the Gomez vineyard. The vintner, Don Fernando, sets Leon to work in a wine cellar with Jose Amedio, who becomes Leon's friends. Leon falls in love with Fernando's daughter, Cristina, and becomes despondent at the seeming impossibility of marrying her. He allows Jose to take him to a nearby brothel, where he transforms and kills Vera, one of the girls. He also kills Jose before returning to Alfredo's house. Too late, he learns that Cristina's loving presence prevents his transformation. He's about to run away with her when he's arrested in jail of suspicion of murder. He begs to be executed before he changes again, but the mayor does not believe him. His wolf nature rising to the surface, he breaks out of his cell, killing an old soak and a jailer. Shocked and disgusted by his appearance, the local people summon him as an adoptive father who was obtained a silver bullet made from a crucifix blessed by an archbishop. Though torn with grief, Alfredo shoots Leon dead and tearfully covers his body with a cloak. Now, produced by Anthony Hines, again, Clifford Evans, Oliver Reed, Yvonne Roman, Catherine Feller, Anthony Dawson, Michael Ripper, narrated by Clifford Evans, cinematographer Arthur Grant, music again by Benjamin Frankel. Hammer, distributed by Universal, came out made in the UK and 1 minute later in the US, and again, 91 minutes. Now, filming occurred again was in Berkshire, a very cool location. It was not as successful as Hammer's previous horror films like Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Mummy. Howard Thompson, New York Times, wrote that some of the color photography was beautiful, adding that for a werewolf yarn, this Hammer production has a gothic type of narrative that is not underestimating if broadly acted. Now, Harrison Reports graded the film as good, finding the production value as a big asset, although the review felt there was not enough action. Variety called it an outstanding entry of the horror picture genre, although not a particularly frightening or novel story treatment of the perennial shock film topic, werewolves ranking second only vampires in cinema. It is a first-class effort in other respects. The monthly film built and wrote, even by Hammer standards, this is a singularly repellent job of slaughterhouse horror. Surely the time has come when a film like this should be turned over to the alienists for comment, as entertainment is solid acting, writing, presentation, direction could hardly be more reclusive. Now, bizarrely, in North America, the film was only released on video on September 6, 2005, along with 7 other Hammer horror films in a 4 DVD set, the Hammer Horror series, which is part, of course, the MC Universal's franchise collection. It was released on Blu-ray on 13 September 2016. The film received an individual release with a new 4K scan in April 2020. The new release included a new commentary track by Stephen Haberman, a featurette on the making of the film, makeup artist Roy Ashton's lycanthropy, The Beast and Elvis, and stills from the film. Furthermore, in some versions of the video, the mute girl's father is the beggar himself. Now, the film was adapted into a 15-page comic strip for the January 17th issue of the magazine, The House of Horror, published by General Book Distribution. It was drawn by John Bolton from a script by Steve Moore. The cover of the issue featured a painting by Brian Lewis as Leon in human and werewolf forms. Now, many of the characters in Joe Dante's 81 werewolf movie, The Howling, get this, are named after the directors of werewolf films. Belinda Belaski's character, Terry Fisher, is named for Terence Fisher, who directed The Curse of the Werewolf. Now, The Curse of the Werewolf is also referred to obliquely in John Landis's 81 werewolf movie, An American Werewolf in London, when David Kessler, David Naughton, asks Alex Price, Jenny Agutter, did you ever see The Wolfman? And Alex replies, is that the one with Oliver Reed? So that's kind of an inside joke. Now, Oliver Reed said in many published reports, it was probably one of the most bizarre movies he ever been a part of, because I think he signed on not knowing he was going to play the werewolf, but again, it was his first big role. Now, from Oliver Reed has done other horror movies through the years, but Oliver Reed has been a leading man. He's been a villain. He's been a swashbuckler, the Three and Four Musketeers. But I saw this movie many years ago, and that's why I became fascinated with Oliver Reed, because a man that handsome should not be a werewolf. But the special effects are terrific. But something in colors like the Dracula and Frankenstein movies that Hammer did, I think we're trying to get the momentum. Now, if you have a chance to see this on streaming services or other channels, it's a treat to see how the color, which is like 4 and 6 style color, it works. But for me, it works. I give it 3 stars out of 4. There's only a few dry moments, but again, it's 91 minutes. It's going to go fast. But like I said, the backstory with the narrator, that really helps. Just like Blade Runner, you need a good narration to explain some of the plot that seems kind of, not say over the top and not well described. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Hammer podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, if you got a Hammer weekend going this summer, take it. There's nothing better than sitting down for 6 hours on a weekend with your buddies and watching some of the best horror movies that are not Canadian or American. You'll treat yourself. Thanks for listening. Bye.